Welcome to National Resource Center, Central University of Kerala and the course on curriculum designing and e-content development. Today, we are going to discuss models of curriculum designing. The curriculum is the word derived from the root word career, which means run in the Latin language. Obviously, the term curriculum operates the institution and it is the clock of an institution. Hence, the term curriculum refers to the concept run since it runs the school and colleges. Each teacher is subjected to follow the curriculum which developed and assigned to the institution. It is the bounden duty of the teachers to follow the assigned curriculum. At the same time, the teachers must be aware of designing curriculum too. Unless they know design and development, there is also a problem in the proper implementation of curriculum. Hence, the development of curriculum is one of the courses which each prospective teacher should definitely be studied. While discussing the curriculum, the teacher must know the determinants, principles, patterns and models of curriculum. Although the principles and pattern and determinants play a predominant role in curriculum designing, the model of curriculum help the teacher and teacher educators to give shape to any sort of curriculum. The principles, patterns and determinants help the teachers to identify what aspect of curriculum, but the models of curriculum help the designers to identify how aspect of a curriculum. Thus, the study about the models of curriculum become precious and utmost care must be taken in the study of nature, type and component of the models of curriculum. A model, let us see what is a model, how it can be incorporated with the curriculum. A model is a medium which meticulously carries the information required to study under the particular setting of an institution. The curriculum model used to exist ever since the formal learning starts among people. The models of curriculum get metamorphosis based on the contemporary philosophers, psychologists and scientists. The model opened a new passage of learning then and there based on the new ideologies which proposed then and there. Hence, a curriculum model is considered to be the blueprint of a curriculum designing, which fixes the nature, level and type of curriculum. Above all, curriculum model facilitates the designers in developing and designing curriculum according to the need of the society ever. Hence, the study about the curriculum models must be a part of the curriculum development. Major elements of a curriculum. Let us see how the curriculum model will help to design and development of curriculum. There are 5 important key components of curriculum which we will see one by one. The first one is focus. This component gives preferences to the student or a subject as the axis of teaching learning process. The second one is approach. This component will take care of the type of instruction that will be used and the method of instruction that may be traditional or modern. Content. This component concentrates on the inclination of students towards a content which will be kept. The mode of writing and its exploration will be viewed very seriously by this component. The fourth component is a process. By this type of component, a type of assessment which we will be employed for the evaluation will be covered. Mainly, either formative or summative types of evaluations will be considered too. The fifth one is the revision of curriculum. This component will be focused by time and mode of the revision which will be addressed to. Next, we let move to classification of curriculum model. Although there are many number of curriculum models, all the curriculum model majorly we put under a classification called product model as well as process model. Product approach. The type of curriculum which aims at the knowledge as an end product is known as product model. This type of curriculum model gives due emphasis on the knowledge in the form of information, skills, attitudes and values. The learning will take place based on the intention what are predetermined through objectives, whereas in the process model the behavioral objectives will be viewed very seriously. The product type of models would be open ended in nature, which will take the learning into many directions. Yes, all the three domains of instructional objectives such as cognitive, affective and psychomotor will be utilized for the acquisition of the end product, that is knowledge of the learners. Next, there are some models such as deficiency model, competency model, information model and socialization model are all example for the product model, because since these model of this type of model give due emphasis on the knowledge as a product of learning experiences, they fall under product approach of curriculum. Next, we will move to process approach. This type of curriculum models rely on the attitude, morals, values and skills and the perception of the learners, play pivotal role in the effective implementation of the curriculum. As far as the skills are concerned, the skills such as social, manipulation, observation, communicative and processing would be employed in the appropriate designing of this curriculum. The learning experiences of this type of model will be planned based on the above stated skills. Thus, this approach is named after process model of curriculum. In general, the curriculum model which focuses on the knowledge as its primary aim and the means would be the product model. If a model gives importance to the actions and the repercussions of learning would be a process model. The examples of process model are the reflective model and counseling model. Since it gives much importance to the learning experiences of the learner, they are all fall under process type of approach. The following table which you are going to see give a precision on the difference about the product model as well as process model. Let us see the difference between process and product model in terms of future. Here in the process product model, teacher role is an expert. In the process model, teacher role is a facilitator. The product model laid a passage to the student to reach the fixed level of knowledge, but in the process model it concentrates on the methods of learning. Knowledge and the skills are considered to be the outcome of learning by product model, but learning experiences considered as the process of knowledge rather than the product as knowledge. The final state is defined by the external assessment agencies by product model, whereas in the process model the final state would be determined by the curriculum committee itself. Emphasis on the summative assessment technique, but in the process model encourages on the learner's autonomy. We let move to advantages between process and product model. Product model precising the learning outcomes without any kind of vague, whereas process model enhancing the interactive process between the students and emphasis on learning skills. Product model give due emphasis on the evaluation part of learning, but the process model emphasis on the learning skills. Product model prepares the contents to be molded according to the level of learner, but the process model motivates the learner to appreciate the attitude and the lack of emphasis. Disadvantages: behavioral objectives may be tried at lower level, but lack of emphasis on appropriate content is one of the disadvantages in the process model. Here in the product model, behavioral objectives may be very difficult to define at a higher level of education, but in the process model difficult to apply this approach in some subject area. And the next one, specific behaviors are more and more about affective domain, but the difficult to assess the learning process. Since it is process oriented, the teachers will find more difficulty in assess learning experiences of the learners. These are all the difference between product as well as process approach. There are some model which we are going to see as an example of the different curriculum model which we can infuse with the design and development of curriculum. Scientific model. As the name implies, the model is also called as technical model. It will be act as the blueprint for the learning experiences. The process skills that are used in this model could be definable, and due emphasis will be on the efficiency of the learners. The objectives used in these models are pre-planned in nature. The example of this type of model is Taylor 4 basic principle model, backward design model by Wigging and McTighe, and a cognitive through model by Lakouf and Nunes. Next, we will move to non-scientific model. This type of approach is also known as non-technique model of curriculum. The each integration that is used in the approach will enhance the objectivity. Since it is not technical, it concentrates on moral, aesthetic and personal aspects of the learners. The participation of the students would be keenly considered through this type of curriculum. Example of this type of curriculum is deliberation model, conservational model and post-positivism model. There are some curriculum models coming under scientific and some curriculum models are coming under non-scientific based on their aim of curriculum designing. Next, we will move to one more classification of models of curriculum, experiences as well as social critical model. The experiential model believes that majority of the learning takes place through the experiences. This type of curriculum content leads the learners to run healthy way of life in a satisfactory manner and be free from problems. The curriculum of this model would have been arranged based on the real life situations. The tasks would be more authentic through this type of model. But the social critical model insists learners to be aware of the evils of the present situation and be away from those evils. The contents that are presented through this curriculum would be based on the social problems of the day-to-day life. Here the task for the learners would be collaborative in nature. Thus, the curriculum models can be classified into many categories, but the models of product as well as process predominantly hold the most of the curriculum based on their objectives. Next, we will move to the different types of learning that are helpful in making content and could be infused with the curriculum designing and development. Structuring of any curriculum focuses on the relationship between the contents to be kept and the cram of the students to be addressed. Moreover, the students must be provided an opportunity to choose the contents which they would found to be learnt. The following types of learning help educators and teachers to design curriculum to provide an opportunity to the students to learn content as they love. The first one is lecture based learning. Although there are contents that are described in the textbook, the learning would be taken place through the boundary of lectures. The deepening of knowledge will be based on the explanation and clarification of through lectures. An exam at the end of the lecture would examine the learner's understanding on the content learnt. This type of learning helps curriculum designers to concentrate on theoretical and conceptual framework. Next, we will move to resource based learning. It is a kind of guided self study through assignment. Assignments are to be prepared based on the available resources and will be discussed in a small group nature. The third one is mastery based learning. This learning helps the curriculum designing in such a way that how students could organize their own learning according to the time and the level of learning. The classification of lesson and unit falls under this category. Problem based learning. But by this type of learning, a room can be given to the students to solve problems, comprehend and explore the issues of the content. The students could be made to report their learning after serious guidance by the tutors who assist the group processes. Next, we will move to project centered learning. The students will work on the problem based on the authentic real life tasks that are obtained through experiences. After the analysis, the students would report their learning as project. Work based learning. The curriculum writers could prepare content blending curriculum learning with the learning by experiences of doing. Self directed learning. The contents are to be arranged in such a manner that directs students to undertake all required tasks to reach the zenith of the curriculum. Models of framework for curriculum designing. After comprehension over the concept and components of the curriculum, it is also essential to learn about the framework for the curriculum. The following broad categories play a pivotal role in fixing the focus of a curriculum model, which are as follows one by one. Subject or discipline centered. In this framework, the curriculum will be organized around the particular related subjects like maths or science or social science. Integrated. This framework brings many related subjects together. This model is widely used in professional enrichment learning and leads to specialized learning. Spiral model. Through this type of framework, the content is arranged many times across the length of the school years through simple to complex context. This design allows the students to review what they have learned so far. Inquiry or problem based. This is the type based on the speculation, the question of different subjects form the basis for the problem pattern, this type of curriculum. This inquiry of the students would also be promoted besides the content of this type of curriculum. Experiential curriculum. By using this type of framework, the curriculum allows students to sensitize the real life situation. The sensitization will make the learners to arrive solutions through trial and error concept. Hence, the content must give room for the experiments of learning. Let us see all the 5 important frameworks for curriculum designing one by one. Subject centered curriculum. The subject centered curriculum is the oldest pattern of curriculum which uses to separate the different subjects based on some criteria. The subject centered curriculum is also known as discipline centered curriculum since it arranges subjects under different disciplines too. The subjects which are required to be studied under particular courses would be arranged in this model. This type of curriculum model helps the teachers to prepare the specialization of the study. The integration of different subjects helps the learner for the deep knowledge in a particular field. Characteristics of subject centered curriculum. The content is global in nature, hence the model can be applied irrespective of any place. The activities such as conversation, listening and writing are mandatory for this type of curriculum framework. The specifications such as specific instructional objectives and skills are segmented as different parts of learning. The nature of the teaching learning process will be around the teacher only. More insist on facts and information of the content. At last, improving the methods of teaching and content in each specific subjects. Limitations of the subject centered curriculum. This type of curriculum is narrow for the conception. It is bookish and theoretical in nature. The contents may be voluminous without significance sometimes. It leads directly to top-sided development of child's personality. There is a limited room for learning beyond what is kept in the book. The curriculum does not guarantee for retention of information for long time. It neglects the informal agencies such as home, press, radio and cinema too. At last, its emphasis on the subjects fails to take into consideration the interest of the learners and the interest shown on psychological aspects of learning. Addition of more subject resulted on the teachers to become less confident. The individual difference make less rational in the fixed type of curriculum. The subject centered pattern considered as one of the most important patterns of curriculum designing. It gives more importance to the subject rather than other aspects. Hence, the subject centered pattern is universally accepted one, although it has some limitations. Next, we let move to integrated curriculum model. In this type of model, the word integration denotes composite of knowledge from the related subjects. For example, the subjects such as physics, chemistry, botany and zoology are put together as science subject up to secondary classes. The subjects such as botany and zoology are put together as biology at higher secondary classes. For some courses, the botany subjects, botany, zoology, microbiology and biotechnology are integrated as related subject. Next, This model of curriculum makes the learners to be interested towards the study. The students will get mastery over the particular field of study. The students also will learn the necessity of one subject in the other subject. Through this type of model approach, the integrated curriculum lay a foundation for the advancement of learning from what they have learned so far. Now, we let move to advantages of integrated curriculum. The furtherance of knowledge is facilitated through integrated curriculum, insisting the advancement in the contents from basic contents, platform for higher order thinking and information processing skills. Since the scaffolding of learning takes place, the curriculum allows the students to deepen their understanding on the contents and concepts. Spiral curriculum. The spiral curriculum is a pattern arranging complex subject matter for learning and instruction purpose. For example, in the elementary school, the students learn a simple contents in the early grade, but in the subsequent years, they learn the content in more complex form. During the course of study, the student goes deeper into the subject matter of studies and different aspects of particular content. The year's work in a specific subject may be spread over several years in terms of increasing maturity of the students. An example of spiral curriculum and plan for science subject is given below. The grade 1 people will study the needs of a pet animal such as cow and dog. Grade 2, study of the needs of a plant. Grade 3, beginning the study of ecosystem involving plants and animals as components. Grade 4 students will study the ecosystem involving human as its component. Grade 5 people will study animals and plant system. Grade 6 people will have physical system such as earth, water and air. Grade 7 people will have the chemistry in daily life. The grade people will have physics for everyone in their curriculum. Like the spiral curriculum introduces the concept one by one in the years together. In the consecutive years, the students will learn from what they have learned to advancement of learning. Advantages of spiral curriculum. Content learned in the previous year and in the subsequent years may be interrelated with one another. The students can go deeper into the subject when his or her age increasing. More amounts of content can be covered by short span of time. Newer ideas or contents are built based on the basic idea or content. Inquiry based model. The curriculum model advocates that there should not be due emphasis on the skills to be acquired or contents that to be studied. Rather, the speculation must be employed in the contents. The exploration of content must be on the instincts of the learners. The methods of inquiry such as conversation, person discourses, communication, construction of knowledge, observation, investigation, what exists and expression of experiences will find a definite place in the inquiry based curriculum. The inquiry based curriculum generally suitable for the informal system of education, where there is room for application of stated methods. The application of real life experiences is also imperative in this framework, but the authentic learning is possible since the teachers, students and societal numbers involved in an inquiry process. Ultimately, the curriculum makes the learners to reorganize and reorient themselves as the member of the society and to be sensitized to their role and responsibilities as a member of each social setting. Advantages of inquiry based curriculum. It enhances students' probing, leads to problem solving and critical thinking. Transfer of learning to the problem solving situation. The speculative content increase the self directed learning among learners. Students will not take anything unless verified empirically. Steps to create an inquiry based curriculum. The following guidance will help you to understand how to create inquiry based curriculum. The curriculum must be in a manner so as to connect the students' probing and real life situation. Each piece of content must be in strength to develop, observe and analyzing skills. The contents must be explored in a way that promotes communication between teachers and students. Every part of the lesson or unit should have a reflective nature of content. These are all the some yardstick to be incorporated in designing inquiry based curriculum. Next, we let move to experience centered curriculum. Good experience is the direct outcome of any purposeful activity. According to William James, one experience can perform to lead into another experience, and the only fulfillment we can speak of is reaching of certain experienced end. These thoughts have greatly inspired the modern educational practice to organize curriculum on the basis of experience. In the experience centered curriculum, the content, activities and structures of instruction are designed to provide a series of purposeful experiences out of the interest, purpose and need of the learners. The experience centered curriculum is quite similar to activity centered curriculum. However, the experience centered curriculum lays emphasis on the development of reasoning and inquiry and exploration of the learners. Every purposeful activity ends in a healthy experience. Important features of experience centered as follows. Centered in learners. Experience centered curriculum focuses the learners not on any particular isolated subjects. Promotes all round growth. Experience centered curriculum promotes all round growth of the learners. The third one is directed by the learners. Experience centered curriculum is controlled and directed by the learners, incorporate with teachers, parents, supervisors and other stakeholders. Emphasize habits and skills. Experience centered curriculum emphasizes the inculcation of skills and to characterize the same among the learners. Helps in building creative personality. Experience centered curriculum widens learning situation. It helps the child to build up a socially creative personality. Education as a process of reconstruction. Education becomes a continuous and intelligent process of growth which reconstructs the experience. Enlarging experience. Experience curriculum regards each experience as a step toward expanding world of experiences. It makes education continuous and dynamic one. Importance of experience centered curriculum. Experience is the center of education. The modern progressive educational thoughts regard experience as the center of education. In this sense, we consider education as continuous reconstruction and reorganization of experiences. Experiences modify human behavior. Experiences modify human behavior as and render education as a matter of life and death experience, which makes education as life centered. Basic education. The importance of experiences has also forms the basis for the educative process. Thus, experience centered curriculum does not merely imparting knowledge through academic subject, it makes child to participate actively in the experience of life as its member. Types of experience centered curriculum. Experience centered curriculum aims at providing various types of experience to the students inside as well outside of the school. There are two important types of experience centered curriculum. The one is direct experience. The direct experience centered curriculum does not confine itself only to the classroom teaching. The experience gained in the form of educational trips, excursion and visits are direct experiences. Direct experiences may also be gained from various purposeful activities in the school, such as doing natural work, executing a project, working in a problematic situation, handling various crafts, etc. Direct experiences are stable and long lasting as well regarding the design of curriculum. Next type of curriculum is named after indirect experience curriculum. Education cannot totally be given only in the form of direct experiences. It needs indirect experiences also. Experiences gained through classroom instruction regarding textbook and other forms of printed material, listening to radio, telecast are all indirect experiences, which is also very much valuable. The experiences of the previous generations which or passed on the future generation in the form of social and cultural heritage also would be provided in the indirect experiences. Let me summarize the session. Once the students got mastery over the above related concepts what I told you, they will understand the concept of a model of curriculum. What a model should consist, what a model should direct are all will be familiar among the prospective teachers and curriculum designers. It is mandatory to use components of curriculum for the better understanding of curriculum designing, because each component suggests some specific task that should be definitely be followed to bring out a better curriculum. It is also important to discern the product and process models, technical with non-technical models of curriculum based on their objectives of curriculum. The entire 4 product models emphasize the knowledge as an outcome of the teaching learning process. The process model give due recognition on the action part of the learning experiences. Hence, one should be very cautious in selecting the type of framework that designs curriculum. The types of students learning for the development of appropriate curriculum must be considered in the curriculum designing, and utmost care must be taken to choose appropriate model framework according to the principle and need of the curriculum. Thank you for watching this program. Have a nice day.